Okay, so I'm back the next day. I'm gonna finish wiring this thing up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wire up the control box and the VFD and everything, and then I'm gonna hop in the attic. I say hop. I'm gonna get in the attic and run the main power line and get this thing hooked up. So here we go. Okay, it's done. Runs pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. We'll start at, it's 20 on here, which isn't quite 50%. I gotta work those numbers out. Maximum is 50 on the controller. So 25 would be 50% speed, 50 would be 100%, 12 and a half would be 25%. So anyway, let's start it up, run it through its paces, and then I'm gonna clean up and put the platen on and get this thing all squared up. So. We'll start out at 20. That's 25, which is 50%. 30. 40. That's 100% speed. I haven't done the nickel test yet. There is such a thing. And that's 12.5, which is about 25% speed. So, pretty happy with it. I'm gonna put the cover on, clean up, put the platen on, and then I think we're done. Okay, so I finished up. It runs good. Basically what I did was mounted it up, got it mounted to the motor, wired the motor to the VFD, wired the VFD from my control box, and I got a control box here with a relay in it. I ended up using a 3-pole, 3-phase relay, but it had a 110 volt coil. I had one left over, so it was pretty easy to put that in since I'm running 230 volt to the VFD anyway. So basically you flip the switch here, makes a contactor, powers the VFD. Once the VFD has power, now you can start and stop the motor and control the speed. So right now I've got it set at about 50%. It works pretty good, it's pretty smooth. I gotta finish, so the bolts that came with it that go in here, they were carriage bolts. And if you know what a carriage bolt is, then you'll understand, but that little head doesn't fit in here quite right. It's designed to use the 1/4-inch bolt, but the head on the 1/4-inch carriage bolt does not fit and slide and adjust. So I need to get, they have captive nuts on them, so I don't need to replace the nuts or put lock washers on. I need to get some regular 1/4-inch nuts so I can have the ability to adjust this much easier without having to grind down the carriage bolts. Other than that, that's why I don't have that on here now. I haven't put the, you know, the rest on it or anything like that, but pretty much I'm done. So mission accomplished. I'm excited to get started using it. I know a lot of you probably have a lot more or experience with this than I do. If you have questions for anything I've got here, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll get answers as far as where I got the VFD from or the RPM on the motor or anything like that. If you have suggestions because you've set up a shop like this and you did a much better job, I would appreciate those suggestions. I'm always open. Pretty much so, we've got good light now, better light. I expect that I'll have to mount a articulating light here so I can see a little better, especially at night. But I ended up having to rehang both lights, but I got them all wired. I did not use power out of the J-Box by the lathe like I thought I was going to do. What I ended up doing is getting in the attic and just dropping it in from the panel there. Brought it down on this shallow piece of unistrut underneath the table into the back of the J-Box. Worked out pretty good, so I'm super excited to get to use this thing. I cannot wait for this expansion. This seems to be the change I think my shop has needed. I can't say I lost focus. It wasn't that as much as just kind of started meandering. I was lost without a goal. So anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the camera and start it up and give you a walk around, let you see it. And again, if you have suggestions or you see something I did wrong, please let me know, because the objective today in doing all of this was to try to set it up so that it's a once and done until I have to build an outbuilding or my wife kicks me out of the garage. So I'm open to any kind of good suggestions or any suggestions that you might have. All right, we'll do the walk around, then I'll finish up. Not the most interesting video on YouTube, I'm sure, but don't forget, I'd certainly like it if you would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I'll leave as many links to in the description down below and try to answer any questions that you guys might have if you're looking to set up a shop like this. I actually think I did the whole thing for about 800 bucks. And then the materials that I used to install everything, I ran to the store, ended up costing me about $60, $65. But I had a lot of it on hand, you know. I had 12-2 of ground. I ran 12-2. The motor pulls 5 amps. You can run 14-2. If you have Romex, it's 14-2. It should be adequate for it. I always keep scrap pieces of extension cord around. There's 3 insulated conductors in here. So I was able to use them for the VFD and the motor and everything. makes it kind of nice. It's not exactly to code. It's not intended to be though. It is a hobby workshop. So, but again, I had most of it on hand, which kind of surprised me. I did have to go get the Unistrut. I did not have a 10-foot piece of Unistrut. I reused the shop lights. I've been converting them to LED over the last few years, and I had an extra one, so I just relocated it here, grabbed a couple LED lights. I'll need to get more bulbs, LED bulbs in the other lights here over the workbench, but and then I think I'm gonna put an 8-footer on the backside too, just because I need to for more light, I think. So other than that, I did add this, but again, I kind of had this leftovers on the other side of the garage, and I didn't want to have to mess too much with dust. Is going to get everywhere. I'm not trying to stop the dust. I just didn't. I wanted a way to close this off to kind of separate it, I guess. I don't know. I felt like it made it a little cleaner. Next, I'll probably get some anti-fatigue mats and put them on the floor here. I want to replace the ones in front of the lathe anyway, and I saw a pretty good deal on them at Northern Tool the other day. So if I do that, I'll mention that in a future video too. Other than that, now it's just got to get some belts, some stock, and start screwing up some stuff. So I think next project I've got is in here that I need to do is going to be, I need to install my air compressor. I lost a lot of footage the other day, which is kind of a shame on my air compressor. My great-grandfather put it together, so it's got a lot of sentimental value. But really the best part is it's 110 volt. And it'll operate up to 125 psi. So I was looking at the line kits that you can buy for a couple $100. You know, be pretty nice and handy. But man, it's $200. I think I'm just going to buy some Schedule 80 PVC, which is rated for like 450 psi, and run a 3/4 inch Schedule 80 PVC air line in here, and hook it up to the compressor. So. I'll have some footage out on that as well. Might be interesting. You know, the compressor itself is actually kind of interesting. I'll probably have to do a recap because I lost the video. So, other than that, I think it's it. So I'm gonna start it up and give you a walk around. Let you take a look at it so you can send me some advice. Thanks. And that's it. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully it wasn't too tedious or boring. I was going to try to do some time-lapse photos, but I haven't figured that out yet on this camera. Anyway, if you would please like, subscribe, send me any questions you might have. I'm happy to try to help somebody else do this. I'm pretty excited about this project. It's been about 10 or 12 years since I've had the opportunity and the freedom to do something like this. So I'm happy to help anybody else that I can. Anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you guys on the next one.